finally Corvette time. This thing has been chilling here since we dropped the body many weeks ago now, and I've been just itching to work on this car. There's a lot of big plans for this build coming up for the 2022 season. This is going to be my official and main competition car. Main focus right now in my head is building it specifically for Clutch Kickers comp for next season, but I also want to hit up some other Pro-Am comps maybe, or different series around the US. So we are finally gonna start on this overhaul today, mostly because I need the lift to work on the 3-rotor car, but also we want to go through and start the refreshing of basically everything. We actually have Nick here in town who's going to be helping me out for the next couple weeks. We're gonna be getting a ton of stuff done. We're gonna be working on the Corvette. We're gonna be working on the 3-rotor car. And finally, we're gonna be working on the Evo. First order of business today is getting the Corvette rolling. Now, we're gonna disassemble basically the entire drivetrain, put the engine on a stand, and get this shell rolling so that I can start prepping this car for paint before everything is upgraded underneath the body. One of the very first things that we're gonna be tackling today is disassembling everything so that all we have left to put up on the car to make it rolling are the subframes. And part of that is going through the engine, getting all the stock, gross, old wiring out that we don't need. We don't need ABS anymore. We don't need AC. We don't need the condenser. Really just cleaning this girl up. In the rear, we're gonna be taking out the transmission with the torque tube and the diff. Take just everything out and literally just get it down to the bare subframes so this girl can roll. And then I'm gonna be rolling her straight into the paint prep room to start on that process. And I can finally get all my jack stands back in my jack and use it for other things now that this won't be occupying them all. This will be my first time really dissecting a Corvette and learning more torque tube things and how everything is connected and works, so this should be fun. Special guest has arrived. I already mentioned you're gonna be with us for 2 weeks now. Yeah. And we got a lot of stuff to work on. Game plan, I'm gonna work on taking off everything we don't need around here. And then, Nick, you said you just wanted to disconnect the torque tube with the rear and pull it back?
Yeah, just pull this whole piece basically apart. And then we'll pull all that off the subframes and then put the subframes back in. There we go. I got that disconnected now. That's a torque tube.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
it's too different.
It's too much.
Looking at everything all in pieces is so comical right now. I swear we are building something great. All right, this is a stopping point before lunch. Almost ready to pick up the engine and then put the subframes back on so we can move this thing. is. Old reliable.
There we go. More?
Subframes are back in the Corvette. Now all we have to do is throw some wheels on and we can finally get this girl off of the lift. It is so weird seeing everything just on the ground, looking really sad and in pieces. This poor dolly is just getting crushed. Got all of the wiring in here, and we're not gonna need this anymore, but you never know. I might need some connectors down the road, or maybe for another LS build. I don't know, maybe I'm just a hoarder. Going into the 2022 season, this girl is getting a complete overhaul. I'm not gonna spoil all the big surprises just yet. I can say that I'm having a really badass engine being built for me right now, and I should get it around or on my birthday, which is 2 days after Christmas. So in about a month and a half, 2 months from now, we should have that engine. And my goal is really to get the car completely running, everything overhauled, wiring dialed in, new clutch setup, new transmission, new rear end, like everything just completely dialed, and have like the very last piece of the puzzle be dropping in my brand new engine. And I actually bought all the parts already to refresh the heads on this engine if I end up having time to. That might just have to be something I end up doing later on if I want to throw this into another build or sell it. That's the game plan for right now. Now we gotta get this girl over to the other shop. There's a few areas that we need to weld before the car is moved into the paint prep room and prepped for full paint. Yes, interior, exterior is going to be wild, and the engine bay. First time Corvette's off the lift in a month. Steering column's broke though, might have broken it when I dropped everything. No big deal, won't talk about that. I'll just get a new one. Poor thing. No wonder she didn't want to get off the lift. Oh God. If I stop and the car's rolling towards the cart, Chris is supposed to put his body in between the golf cart.
Me.
Holy crap, the Corvette is officially out of here and off the lift. And next up on the lift is the 3-rotor car. Got a bunch of new goodies that we're gonna be installing in the rear of that thing in prep, hopefully for another dyno session / like street tuning session, and hopefully a track day. The last thing that we wanna finish up on the Corvette is getting the doors fully mechanical. Get rid of all that electrical crap. It's never worked well in my Corvette anyway. Like when you try to open the door, there's always a slight delay. And sometimes you would be like trapped inside the car for like a split second, which I absolutely hated. So took a few notes from Matt Field on how to get these doors converted easily to full mechanical. We're gonna go work on that in the other shop. All right, it's the next day. We have the Corvette in the main shop, and Nick solved one of my biggest pet peeves and issues with this car, with the help with some advice that we got from Matt Field. One of my biggest annoyances in getting a C6 was the electric doors. It drove me crazy because it would be slightly delayed, and inside the car when I was having different electrical issues, sometimes it wouldn't work, and I just got paranoid, like I couldn't get out of the car. When Matt Field was over here working on their FD car, just got some advice from him on what we can do, because his doors are fully mechanical. And there's actually a way you can do it without doing anything crazy custom, utilizing the mechanical door releases that are on the floorboard of the car, the back of the car, and moving it to the front. I'll show you what Nick did. He solved all of our problems right here. Boom. This is what is usually on the floor as like a backup emergency release. on each side of the car. So the driver's side has one and the passenger has one as well. And you didn't even have to extend the cord for it. You can just move it and mount it right here. So Nick riv nutted it there, and boom. You can now open the door from the outside on both sides. And then for the driver's solution, I'm gonna get in here so you can see it. Ugh. This door release is actually located in the trunk or the hatch, and you could reroute it up here. And Nick welded a little tab right there to the cage so that I can open the door from the inside right there. My biggest concern was wanting to make sure the doors could be opened both from the inside for the driver and on the outside. And that is what this solution gives us. So I'll show you the one from the inside. You just pull it, boom, and she opens. Thank you, Nick. And this is so sick. I've been wanting to do this honestly ever since I got the car, and I was really worried about it, but thankfully you don't have to make any custom lines or extend anything. You literally just relocate stuff and make a tab for the driver's side one. Now the back doesn't have something that you can move to the front for the passenger side, but this is gonna be my main comp car. We really care about the driver. I don't even know if I'm gonna end up keeping a passenger seat in here. This had to be done before it goes into prep for paint so that we don't have to mess up our paint and re-weld things later. So, one of the biggest problems on the C6 officially solved. Second thing that we had to figure out before this gets prepped for paint is our bash bar situation that I never finished fully installing. Originally, I was thinking we would have to cut this and weld in a plate because it was trashed, but Nick wanted to work smarter, not harder, so he just ended up drilling out the other place for the hardware to make sure this is fully secure. So now this will actually be fully functional, versus before I was always paranoid of it getting ripped off anytime someone was trying to tow me with it. So we got our bash bar set up, finalized, not gonna tube the front of the car or anything like that until I absolutely have to later on down the road. Push the car into the prep room, and this is where it's going to stay until paint day. So I'm gonna end up taking out the rest of the interior in this room, prepping the car once more before it goes into paint for both exterior, engine bay, and the interior. And I'm also going to be doing flares on the front fender. So we're gonna be going even wider in the front with the full kit from True Fiber, which is the fender flares that I have in the rear. I got these overs right here to put on the front of the car, and I really think this is just gonna pull the rest of the look all the way together. There's really not too much that I need to remove from the interior. I want to get rid of that parking brake because it literally does nothing and has always done nothing. And we are going full race car, so no AC, no ducts behind here. We don't need the radio stuff either, or any of the wiring, since I'm completely redoing all the chassis wiring. I'm just so stoked that I have fully mechanical doors. So I still go for here. I'm not used to the mechanical doors yet, but this is so dope that I have fully mechanical Corvette doors. So I'm also going to be just getting rid of all the wiring on the door, taking out the glass as well. I contemplated trying to keep the window function, but by the time I'm done with this thing, it's full-blown race car. Like, I really shouldn't be trailering this on any open trailer anyway, so I'm just gonna delete the glass and end up putting a door card here to make everything look really, really nice. Nick has only been here for like 2 full days, and we are already getting so much done. And now you guys know too how to make your doors fully mechanical if you guys have a Corvette. I cannot wait for you guys to see what we have in store for the exterior paint of this thing. It's gonna be wild. That is it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.